The Conbini boys, they're the Conbini boys, they're the Conbini boys.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Matt, how are you doing this fine morning, fine evening for me?
Well, I was dragging, had a couple Zoom beers last night with some colleagues, and passed out on the couch with a pint of chocolate ice cream. Woke up around 8:30 and managed to make my way to bed. Charged up with a McGriddle sandwich from McDonald's. I got a large coffee, so I'm starting to feel a little bit better. How are you over in Kanazawa?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm feeling pretty good, but I was a little bit tired. So I as well got a tall boy here as well. But I've got the tall boy lemon sour. And as you can see, that is the Kirin the Strong, aka Kirin's Prime Sour.
Prime sour.
So this is not a common one for me, as you know. Actually, I had the luck of my life yesterday. I went to FamilyMart, and I spent the bill was kind of high. It was about 2,000 yen, about $20. And as you know, at the Conbini, every once in a while they have those campaigns where, like, for every 700 yen you spend, you get to pull out a raffle or whatever.
Raffle, yeah.
Yeah, a little lottery ticket. And if you win, you get to get some item. And so, boom, hit it.
Oh, that's what you got.
That's what I got. I got this. And not only that, I was 3 for 3. And so I also had this matcha highball, another thing I never drink. I don't know. It's a highball, but my luck's feeling pretty good. And hey, perfect timing because, Matt, you know what this is. It's episode 25.
25, yes. We're a quarter of the way to 100 episodes.
Yes.
Nobody thought we would make it past 4, 7, 10, but here we are at 25. No end in sight. Conbini continues to crank out actually too much content for us to keep up with. We're like a dog chasing a car. You know, we're never going to catch it, but it's a heck of a lot of fun.
It is. Yeah. And on that note, I guess we should probably get started with the show. So as you know, we always start out with the Chiki Wars. And this week as well, we've got 2 new Chikis coming up. So let me just go ahead and show you what we're looking at. So first off, coming out of 7-Eleven, we've got a hot one here. I'm talking about the Zaku Chiki hot and spicy. And Matt, as you know, Zaku in Japanese, that means crunchy, crispy and crunchy, and the hot and spicy as well. So this looks like we've got a crunchy, hot and spicy chicken. What do you think?
I'm super pumped about this one here, Mike. That looks like it has shards of glass fried into that coating. It looks outstanding. You know, it looks like it was, a bomb went off and just a bunch of frags stuck into that juicy Chiki meat. It was dropped into the fryolator and oh my goodness, that looks damn good. And hot and spicy. I think we both like a hot and spicy Chiki, though they typically don't live up to the original. But in this case, I do like the Zaku paired with the hot and spicy. I'm pumped about this one, Mike.
I mean, how many times have we seen a hot and spicy chicken at the Conbini? I mean, it's one of the classic flavors that you have, but I'm actually really excited about this one just because like you said, this looks really crunchy. And I just imagine you crunch in there and you've got that juice in there. So, you know, you've got this crunch. And once you break through that, you've just got this juice, just boom, just splashing out on you. So I'm really excited. We'll have to see how it goes. I'll try and get it as soon as I can. But okay, so that's 7-Eleven. We've got one more chicken this week. And I'm talking about something that's going to be really exciting for our vegetarian friends and vegan friends. Matt, I'm talking about the soy meat nugget. In Japanese, I think it's the just basically soy meat nugget. I think that's exactly what the translation goes for. But yeah, so as you can see, it's from FamilyMart. It looks to be similar to a PokeChiki, although it is not a PokeChiki. We just have Daizu meat nugget here. But yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Well, this is really building off a product we shared last week, which was the meatless hambagu bento out of Family Mart. And here again, Family Mart coming out with a meatless meat product. And I'm just again surprised at how quickly this seems to be happening in a country like Japan, where people really love eating their meat, their
Hmm.
fish, their
Hmm.
pork, their chicken. I mean, it's a country where you say, "Oh, I'm vegetarian. I don't eat meat," and they come back with you, "Oh, do you eat pork? No, I don't eat pork. Oh, do you eat chicken? No, I don't eat chicken. Oh, do you eat fish? No, I don't eat fish. Oh, do you eat shrimp? No, I don't eat shrimp." And that goes on and on and on
Right,
because they're
right.
not so familiar. So, frankly, I'm very surprised, but I do think it is encouraging. It's nice to
Hmm.
see some options coming out there for vegans and vegetarians at the Conbini.
Yeah, and no, I agree. And this is really exciting. One thing that I will note, and one thing that I actually noticed last week when I was looking back, this little bit right here, only available in
Ooh.
Tokyo. So this is what you've got a sort of a regional difference. Some might call it classism. I'm not sure. But basically Tokyo, you get the vegan, you get the vegetarian options. Out here, they're just giving us slop. We got nothing. So no, I'm just kidding. But it is interesting that a lot of these vegetarian and vegan options are only available in the Kanto region, which would be Tokyo. And I guess it's just because, in general, you have more sort of like, vegetarian, vegan, young professionals, people who are, would be interested in that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But all right, Matt. So that knocks us out for the Chiki Wars this week. Yeah, I guess we're probably going to be looking at the scoreboard here pretty soon.
Yeah, why don't we pull up the old scoreboard here? Scoreboard is each week we take a look at the new items coming out of the big three for the next week. So,
Mm-hmm.
Mike, like you did last week, I won't list the Conbini. I'm going to ask you to guess which Conbini are set with the new item count here. But we have 76 new items, 41
Mm-hmm.
new items, and 103 new items.
Yeah, that's going to be FamilyMart, Lawson, and 7-Eleven. Although the 7-Eleven, I was a little thrown off because FamilyMart 76.
76, a little high for Family Mart. They're usually playing around 50 to 65.
Mm-hmm.
Lawson, right in its wheelhouse, 35 to 45. And then 7-Eleven again over the century mark. Last week they peaked at 158 new items.
Mm-hmm.
This week they dialed it back to just 103. And so normally what we've been doing up until now is we each share a favorite item from each Conbini of
Mm-hmm.
those new items. We're changing it up. We're changing this segment into something that we're calling winners and losers.
Oh, yeah.
So, Mike, you have picked a winner amongst the three Conbini new items. So, out of those 210 new items or so, you've
Mm-hmm.
identified a single winner and a
Mm-hmm.
single loser. So, a
That's
favorite
right.
item and a little kind of sketchy item. And
Mm-hmm.
I have done the same. So, how about we start off with you sharing your winner? Where does it come from? And what is it? I'm going to pop this open here. Let me
Okay.
put it up on the big screen. Very excited on the edge of my seat. Woo, boy, I was hoping somebody was going to pick this. Thank you. Outstanding choice. What do we got here, Mike?
All right. So what we've got is some Kushikatsu.
God
And
damn.
this is coming out of Lawson. This is the Kushikatsu Mori Awase.
My
And
God.
so kushi in Japanese means skewer, katsu means fried, and mori awase means sort of like a variety of items. Usually you hear it in like sushi mori awase or something like that.
Mhm.
But the reason I was really excited about this, we haven't talked about kushikatsu
No.
on the cast before, I think, and it's just another, like, Japan has so many sort of like individual sort of like things that you could make like whole industries off of.
Industries, yeah.
And so they're gonna try and do the kushikatsu, it looks like. And as you can
Mm.
see, we've got some we've egg, we've got some lotus root. It looks like we have some beni shoga there. And then we've got the
Oh.
oh yeah, and then we've got the classic pork. there in the back, I think.
God.
So I'm just really excited. This is not, I think at the Conbini, I've seen maybe just like the pork before, but I've never seen this moriawase, the sort of like collection. So it seems like they're just trying to do the real thing. Because when you have kushikatsu out at a restaurant, you're getting the moriawase, you're getting a collection of different things. And so I'm really excited about this one.
I love Kushikatsu. I'm surprised we haven't talked about it yet. Actually, one of my favorite dining experiences in Japan is Kushikatsu because they often have the deep fryer right at the table. And so you can drop your, like you said, lotus root or pork, whatever it is. You can bread it and fry it right at the table, drop it into the deep fryer, and eat it fresh, hot. It is totally awesome. And that sauce, too.
The sauce.
The sauce. Ooh,
the sauce is a
kind of. It's a bulldog sauce, right?
Yeah. Key ingredient. I mean, it isn't kushikatsu without this sauce, right?
It is outstanding. Okay, great start to our winners, and that's out of Lawson. I'm going to tune into my winner now, Mike. And what I got here, this is also out of Lawson. This is the Fukuri Tamago Egg Sando. Mike, normally I'm not a big egg sando guy. I don't like egg salad in particular. That's one of your favorite items. But this is not egg salad. This is scrambled egg. And let me describe it for our listeners here. This thing is like a puffed up sleeping bag of egg. I mean, this is like something that Bear Grylls would pack up just in case he needed to keep warm in Patagonia. Just sleep on that big old egg sando there, tuck right in. I mean, I don't know whether to eat this or rest my head on it and go to sleep for a long, long time here, Mike. This just looks outstanding. Pumped about this egg sando.
Oh, man. I can't really say much. I love a tamago sand. And and this is this looks like the elite, the premium, the premier version of a tamago sand. And this, like you said, not egg salad. This is an egg sandwich, and
egg sand, yeah,
great choice. This looks beautiful.
All right, now on to the losers here. Let's crack open. I think that's here we go. Let's see what you got here for a loser here, Mike. Oh no. Oh, whoa, what is this? FamilyMart.
Yep. So coming out of FamilyMart, here's my loser for the week. So as you know, last week, actually, one of the ones I picked up was popcorn because I was fixing for some popcorn. Yep. That was from the Seto Naikai, the inner ocean of Japan. They've got some great sauce. Okay, so what do we got here? We got popcorn again. But this is Lifeguard caramel popcorn. Now, let me tell you, caramel popcorn, I have no problem with. I love it. But Lifeguard, if I was to describe what this is, a drink. You can see it down here in the lower right there. It's a bizarre, no one really knows what it is, but it's basically like a soft drink. Maybe you could think of it as like like a Sprite or like a Mountain Dew flavored caramel popcorn. So I don't know what they're doing here. This just seems like a weird pairing. And I don't know. I just thought this is a loser for me this week.
Yeah, again, another instance, it seems, of the Conbini product development team scrambling for something to get out, and they see Lifeguard and popcorn and just, okay, let's combine these two. Next thing you know, packaging team is right on it, and 30,000 stores later, we got this hell of a mess here. Yeah, I'm actually not a huge fan of caramel popcorn to begin with, so the idea that it's also going to include the flavor of carbonated Sprite soda, yeah, that is a troubling product. So, understandable that it would make it into the loser list this week. All right, let's round it out here. I do also have a loser here. This may not be a loser for you, though, Mike, but for me, it certainly is. This is also out of FamilyMart, so 2 losers from FamilyMart this week. This is the spicy Cod Roe or mentaiko sandwich. Actually, it's not a sandwich. It's a French baguette stuffed with a little mentaiko spicy Cod Roe. Mike, I'd back away from this thing like somebody was swinging a samurai sword at me. I can't get far enough. The distance I need between me and this Right now, 6,000 miles feels about right. This thing looks like an infected wound. I have zero interest in eating this. In fact, I gotta stop looking at it. Mike, you might actually like this.
Yeah, no, I've said before, I'm a mentaiko maniac, but only on top of rice. That's the only way I like it. I like it on just white rice, boom on top. That's how I want it. But I will say, I did have something similar to this in a bread, and it wasn't too bad. The only thing I will say is they're really being conservative with this little, what they got, like a little tube of mentaiko going through the middle of this.
It's about a dime. Yeah.
It's a dime. Yeah. This does not look great, and I can totally understand why you would take this up for your loser of the week.
All right, so that takes care of the scoreboard and the revised segment, winners and losers. And now it's on to, we're revisiting an old segment here that's come back to life recently called the Mailbag. And over the last week or so, we've had some great engagement on Twitter. And we want to call out a few of our fans here. Mm-hmm. Actually, maybe generous to call them fans.
Generous.
Hopefully they'll be fans.
Hopefully future fans.
Hopefully future fans here. But we did not only, we learned a lot this week from folks on Twitter. And let me just pop open the letters or tweets that they sent us. First, this one came from Paprika, or Needs More Petals, I apologize. And it's the Asahi Red Eye, a tomato juice beer beverage. Mike, I guess you know a little bit about this. Can you walk us through what this is here?
Sure. Yeah. I think in some of the replies, maybe people followed up, but I can tell you that Red Eye is definitely a drink, and it's one that I actually have enjoyed many a time. So we talked before about how, like, sometimes in Japan, drinking can go from, like, about 10 a.m. to, maybe like 9 a.m., 23 hours. And sometimes at the tail end of that, you can't drink any more beer. So you got to get some vitamin C in there. That's when you drink a Red Eye. And it's actually not that bad, because by that time you're already pretty sauced up. But no, I've had it before. And I to be honest, I think it would be pretty good. And so, I wouldn't write it off.
Okay. Well, I've never had one myself. And this, by the way, it doesn't appear to be available at the Conbini. This is out of a grocery store, but maybe we'll see it at a Conbini someday. So thanks to Needs More Petals for bringing that to our attention. Next, we have a great essay about Lawson. And this was brought to us by Film Essaying, published in Belt Magazine originally. And this was just a terrific essay on the Conbini, specifically this person's favorite, Lawson. And I appreciate that he brought to our attention why there is some, I guess not controversy, but misunderstanding. Is it Lawson's or is it Lawson?
Lawson, yeah.
And originally, the U.S.-based convenience store chain was in fact called Lawson's with the apostrophe S. But when it started up in Japan, they cut off the apostrophe S, and it just became Lawson. And so I guess it is okay for it to be either Lawson's or Lawson.
Yeah. That's something we've had come up before. We've actually been asked, and my mom, I think both of our moms asked us that at one time. And I didn't know either. So that I'm glad to finally understand what's going on with that.
Terrific. And also, I believe Film Essaying pointed out a Conbini historian or anthropologist of some sort in that essay that we need to get in touch with.
Yeah.
There is a Conbini scholar out there.
Yes.
Last up, another Twitter user, this from Blackman Japan, pointed out to us the 100 yen Lawson store. Now, this was shocking. Yeah, I mean, I can't believe we didn't know about this. Of course, we're both familiar with the 100 yen store in Japan, which really is one of, that's up there with, the pyramids of Giza, the Grand Canyon, all kinds of, man-made and natural phenomenon. But in this case, there's a 100 yen Lawson store where everything costs 100 yen, which is about $1. It's about $1.
Yeah. And some of the comments, and there was some back and forth, but people wondering where these items come from, where do they appear? I don't know. I've never actually seen one. This must be like something that is more like in the bigger cities. If anybody knows more, let us know, because it's it's really interesting. And I'd love to, next time you're in Japan, we got to get over to 100 yen Lawson and check it out.
Absolutely. All right, so that's it for the mailbag. Hopefully, each week we'll feature some of the stuff coming from our hopefully fans on Twitter. But Mike, I think now we gotta make room now for the lead story. What do we got this week?
Yeah, so this week, as you know, last week we touched on the theme of Christmas starting up in Japan and starting up at the Conbini. And to start, we looked over at 7-Eleven. And following up on that, this week, we're going to look at Lawson.
Mm-hmm.
Or Lawson's, as we, who knows, still don't feel comfortable with it. But so we're looking at Lawson. So let me just go ahead and throw this up on the screen. I think you all from last week will understand the difference. For our podcast listeners. Basically, last week we had this sort of strange scene of boys band holding a champagne bottle and everybody having a good time. Here we have a very elegant,
elegant. It's the only
could
word
be
for
in
it.
a design magazine. Basically, Christmas cake and dinner at Lawson's. So Matt, in terms of the selection, we have sort of the same categories as at 7-Eleven. We got the cakes and sweets, we got the chicken box, we got the party foods, we got liquor and other. So I thought we could just go ahead and start off. Look at the chicken first. So as you know, what do you think? I know last week you were really concerned about the size of the chicken. What do you think this week? What do you think about this?
Well, this is a much more accurate representation of Chiki here. These look very normal. It's not any sort of caveman club style that 7-Eleven was trying to push. And these look elegant. Lawson, you get a mix of the FamiChiki with the bone-in Chiki. Great to have that variety there. I do love a nice handle on a Chiki, especially at Christmas dinner. So yeah, all in on the Chikis here. This is outstanding.
Okay, all right. So we've got the Chikis, and then we've also got, now we're in the party food section. Boom. So as you can see, they've sort of collaborated with Seijo Ishii, which is sort of an upscale, I guess it'd be sort of like Whole Foods in the States.
That's right.
Supermarket. And compared to 7-Eleven, as you can see, we've only got a few, it's pretty bare bones, but it's beautiful. I mean, and they've got some really nice items.
They got some great brie. They got some, it looks like camembert cheese, beautiful selection of wine, including something from Joël Robuchon, the famous 3 Michelin star French chef. So again, This is elegance at its finest. No surprise. Again, Lawson, that's what they're known for, a high-end product. So yeah, this just looks fantastic. And the partnership with Seijo Ishii just makes a ton of sense. Like you said, it is sort of the Whole Foods of Japan.
All right. And then, all right, so we got through it. Now we're coming to what it's all about.
Let's get talking about the brass tacks here.
We're talking Christmas cakes. And so let's look at what Lawson has to offer. Boom. We're coming into the cake section. Oh, boy. So as you can see, look at this. This looks like some sort of impressionist painting. I mean, this is just beautiful. I don't know how they have so many colors. We've got the chocolate cake. We've got the Mont Blanc cake. We've got the pistachio and berry cake. And it just goes on. We've got the classic cake. It goes on and on, Matt. There's so much. And one that you point out to me, we've actually got the Baschi cake as well.
Baschi is back. Yeah, 2 Baschi cakes. Still don't know what Baschi is. Oh, wait. It's cheese from the Basque region of Spain, I think. So that's 2 elegant cakes, one featuring, it looks like chestnuts, cheesecake, and then a swizzle of thick whipped cream. And then on the right, a chocolate Baschi cake. Looks like it features wafer cookies and another swizzle of chocolate whipped cream. Outstanding looking selection here.
Yeah, yeah. And even, I mean, there's just so many.
Ooh.
And one more that we were looking at. Check out this, everybody. We've got the pick'em platter, is what I think they call them. They pick them up. They've got a whole variety. We got a combo pack here. We've got all your favorite flavors. You can just get a little bite of each. This also looks amazing, doesn't it?
Looks
Look at
incredible.
this.
Yeah, it looks absolutely outstanding. And yeah, in this a selection of 8 slices of cake, you get your chocolate cake, you get your matcha cake, you get your strawberry shortcake, you get your strawberry shortcake whipped cream with a strawberry whipped cream flavor. You got your souffle cheesecake, you got your layer cheesecake, you got your caramel cake, and then you got your madon or chestnut cake, all on a single platter. 8 slices of unique cake, and then also a fine selection of even more smaller miniature cakes, going
Yeah.
from 8 to 12 pieces. So
Ah.
outstanding.
Just beautiful, just beautiful. I mean, look at all these colors. Yeah. So, all right. So Lawson, as you know, they've got high quality, what we always look for. But Matt, what we want to get into is something we talked about last week. We're talking about size. What are we looking at in terms of size here? So, I wanted you to, I know that you pointed out this, boom, we got the pistachio berry cake here. So what sort of size are we looking at, ladies and
All right,
gentlemen?
let's talk dimensions here. Okay,
Yeah.
so first, the price on this thing with tax, because everybody's paying tax. Uncle Sam's got to get his cut. This thing is 3,950 yen. So let's call it $40 here. All right, not cheap for a cake, but hang on,
Not cheap.
everybody. Strap in, make sure you're buckled in for this, okay? The diameter of this cake is 12 centimeters, which is a little less, I believe, than 6 inches. The
Little
height,
less than 5. It's 2.5 times 1 inch. So that is a 4.5 cent or inch cake.
what? And then the height, which I find actually hard to believe just for structural integrity and the layering that they have in this thing. 4.5 centimeters on the height here, Mike. How is that even possible? They do have a cross section. I'm not counting, they're counting 6 layers and 4.5 centimeters of height here. First, I'm staggered that that's even physically possible.
Yeah, no.
Second, I'm absolutely furious that I'm paying $40 for a cake of this size.
Yeah, and as you pointed out before, this is for 3 to 4 people. Remember this. So this is all right, everybody. Remember your math. Remember your geometry. We're looking at a radius of 6 centimeters. So that'd be about 2.5 inches or 2.2 inches. That is one slice right there, and that's for 3 or 4 people. I don't know. This seems to be sort of a problem going on here. I don't know what else to say, but all right, you know what? Okay, we've looked at some cakes, but let's look at the crown jewel. We're talking about.
I got a little preview of this. I gotta cool off here.
Yeah.
Let me
Hold
just
on,
take a sip of water. I'm getting, because I know this is I might blow my stack when I see the size of this next cake here.
All right, we're going to the special strawberry Christmas cake. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this. Are you kidding me? All right, for our podcast viewers, let me explain what we're looking at. We've got a whipped cream cake, and on top of that, we've got the most beautiful array of sliced strawberries sitting on top.
It is stunning.
It looks like this is gold leaf that has been sprinkled.
That's
on top,
what that
gold
is.
powder.
Yes.
So, Matt, what would you what would the average viewer assume the size of this cake is, and assume the price of this cake is? Well, let me show you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is a $100 cake right now. And what's more, Matt, this is a $100 cake, and this is a 18 centimeter by 5 centimeter cake.
Hold on. Hold on. Oh, all right. Okay. Now I'm getting fired up here because this doesn't make any sense. All right. We're looking at a $100 cake. Like Mike just said, it's 18 centimeters diameter, 5.2 centimeters in height. That doesn't even make sense. That array of strawberries, you figure, has got to be 5.2 centimeters tall. They're stacked up. Look at this thing. The layers. So okay, let me count these layers. Again, I'm actually not counting them. This is we got a layer cake, a layer of whipped and strawberry. Layer cake, layer whipped and strawberry. Layer cake, layer whipped and strawberry. Another layer cake, whipped strawberry, whipped cream, and then the stack of strawberries. There's no way they're keeping that to 5.2 centimeters. But could you just go back up there, Mike? They somehow have doubled the number of people this cake is for. This is not for 3 to 4 people. This is now for 6 to 8 people, even though the size is almost the same. It certainly hasn't doubled from what we just looked at in that pistachio cake. Mike, this is well, first of all, even if you do serve 8 people, let's say you do manage, you're looking at what is that? $12 for a slice of cake? It's like $12 a person for some whipped cream and strawberries.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Yeah, no. All right. Let's calm down here. Yeah, so so yeah, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got what we call back home a highway robbery. So I would like you all to just but you know, all right, I will say this isn't outlandish in Japan when it comes to cakes, and for some reason it seems as though there's a premium. I don't know, man. That's about a 7-inch cake for $100. But all right, Matt, we before we get too deep, we got to move on because but anyways, this was Lawson, and next week FamilyMart has also got their array up, so we can check that out as well. But that concludes for this main section of today.
All right. It's nice to cool down for a little bit.
Yeah, let's calm down.
Got to calm down here. And no better way to calm down than to enter what is my favorite segment of each week, which is At the Gemba with Mike. The Gemba, of course, the place where the action happens. And Mike, you're in Japan, specifically Kanazawa, and you're going to share with us a review of a product we featured recently. What do you got for us this week?
All right, Matt. So, you know, as last week we talked about PokeChiki, and it's something that we've been talking about a lot. PokeChiki versus Karaage-kun. And we were saying that, you know, PokeChiki at the start, they have these simple flavors, whereas Karaage-kun, they've got black hole flavor, they've got Kimetsu no Yaiba flavor. They've got it's just, like you said, they're releasing concepts at this point. But so we actually on Twitter, and we got a lot of feedback. People wanted to see what this butter soy sauce PokeChiki was all about. And so I went out actually the day after the last podcast and I got it. And Matt, I've got to tell you, I think you can go ahead and you can pick up that steak and you can just drive it right into the coffin of PokeChiki, because I got to say, this war is over. It's done. I don't even think we have to pay any attention to PokeChiki from here on out. So let me explain what's going on here. So all right, this is the problem. So it looked actually pretty good, but they're small. They're much smaller than Karaage-kun, PokeChiki in general. And they also have this sort of like dense chicken flavor, or the chicken is very dense. Whereas Karaage-kun, you kind of have some of that air and the juice in that to sort of, it feels most like a chicken nugget almost. And so the flavor, it tastes like butter soy sauce, but it was smaller. You know, it didn't even, I mean, it was barely interesting, the butter and soy sauce flavor. I'm not going to, you know, if you can't get Karaage-kun and you really like nuggets, I'd say, you know, get some PokeChiki. But Matt, I really hate to say it. I think this nugget war has come to a conclusion. We'll have to see, but yeah, that I was pretty disappointed.
Yeah, that is stunning.
Yeah,
you know, we thought FamilyMart has a lot of resources to bring to bear, including the FamiChiki recipe, which we agree is the best chiki of them all.
Right.
And to think that they can't even stand up an army for the first round of battle with
Mm.
Karaage-kun is, quite frankly, stunning. Wow, Mike, that is a tough review. Maybe they can dig out of the hole that they've made for themselves, or maybe it's just time to put down the shovel and stop digging.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, we'll have to see what happens. Maybe they're gonna have a big revamp, but at this point, I just don't see it happening.
All right. Well, I guess from some bad news to maybe some worse news here.
Yeah.
It's on to Conbini news, and this week, Mike, we're talking coronavirus impact on Conbini sales. The headline here is it's down for all three Conbini chains. And I got to tell you, I am shocked. I figured, Conbini have stayed open really throughout coronavirus.
Yeah.
And with people, I figure eating out less, places like grocery stores, like Conbini, would actually have a bump in sales, but that's not what we're seeing.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's your take on this? Are you as surprised as I am, or did you expect this?
So I got to be honest, when I first saw this headline, I was blown away. It didn't make any sense to me. And this was like, this is probably about 40 minutes ago. And, but while we're doing the podcast, I was in the back of my mind, I was kind of thinking about it. And I was thinking about my activities during this half a year where we've had coronavirus.
Yep.
And I was thinking, for those first 4 months, whereas before I was a three time a day guy, I'd drop down almost a three times a week guy. And so, I imagine there are a lot more people like that. And so I will say from here on out, I don't see any problem. But, during that time, I guess thinking back, everybody was really just kind of sheltering in. And I guess it would make sense that that the sales were down. But going forward, even if coronavirus continues, I think that people will be going to the Conbini more, just as they've grown a little bit more accustomed to just like what we're dealing with.
Yeah, hopefully people are growing accustomed. And we've seen the Conbini adapt to coronavirus. We've seen Conbini owners attach foot pedals to coolers so that people can open them up with their feet versus their hands. We've seen the plexiglass shield in front of the Oden tank, and customers can no longer fish out their stewed daikon and gyusuji on their own. They have to ask the store attendant to do that for them. So hopefully, as you're saying, as people grow more comfortable getting out and the Conbini continues to adapt to COVID-19, we'll see sales go right back up. And, God willing, you'll get back to 3 times a day.
Hopefully. God willing. God willing.
Yeah.
God willing.
Okay. So that wraps up this week's episode, Mike. Number 25 is in the can. Wow. What a ride we've been on. And it's time to close it out. So thanks, everybody, for listening. Please leave us a review on podcasts, be it Apple Podcasts or Spotify, Google Podcasts, however you listen. That helps more people find the podcast. Also, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Also, YouTube. We're now posting visuals of the podcast so you can see exactly what we're talking about. If you do have a Conbini memory, we have a phone number that you can dial into. Can't find it right now. Usually have that handy, so I'll post it on Twitter. Actually, I just found it. It's 617-453-8207. Dial in. Leave us a message about something you love about the Conbini, and we'll share it with everybody. All right, that's it for this week, Mike. I guess, hey, I'll see you at the Conbini.
See you at the Conbini. Conbini boys, they're the Conbini boys, they're the Conbini, they're the Conbini, they're the Conbini.